Page 34, theme from Finlandia. If you'll go Google or search on Finlandia by Sibelius, you find all kinds of recordings for the orchestra. This is an orchestra piece, of course. There's a few things I'd like to point out. Now again, we're still in the key of C major. No sharps or flats in the key signatures, so we're using all white keys unless they introduce accidentals, and they do, but we'll get there in a minute. So starting with the right hand, you're starting on a third finger on the E, so this is going to put you in this position, and that's fine. I believe you stay in this position for the whole piece in the right hand. Left hand moves a little, but the right hand, I think you're okay here. And then it's a matter of counting it. So you have a rest, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, because we're in 4/4 time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think the rhythm will be a problem. I hope if it is, you may need to go back and start the book again. Go back to the method book on Faber and go through that again if you haven't been through it. It doesn't hurt to do multiple books at the same time. I mean, if you don't have a teacher, it might help you because different books present things slightly differently and in a different order, but all in all, they're all going to present the same stuff. Pretty much. Mostly. And that's pretty much the right hand. That last note on the page 35 at the bottom, the C, it's fermata. I'm going to hold that for however long I'm going to hold the left hand, and I'll just talk about the left hand. Starting out on page 34 with a 1 chord and a 4 chord. Hopefully you're starting to recognize these chords. It's so much easier when you can glance at the music and just, oh, that's a 4 chord. And you don't have to figure out these notes every time. Pretty much what the left hand is doing until you get down to the third line. First two measures are okay in the third line on page 34, but then in that last measure you got to move up one. Second finger's on the G here, so you just went up one is here. We're going to be in this position for a while. Get over to page 35, second line. It is, they've introduced a sharp. So now instead of a G, it's going to be a G sharp. So it's E, G sharp. That fun? Oh boy. And the next measure on those G's, now remember that rules for accidentals. An accidental is a sharp, flat, or natural that they've stuck in the music like this. It's not part of the key signature. From that point in the measure, for the rest of the measure, and that's it. Once you go into the next measure, it cancels that. It's no good. So the G sharp is only good for that measure. The G's on the next measure are G naturals. So, and then we're okay until at the end. The last couple measures, you got to come back down to your C position to get the chord. The 5/7 chord and the 1 chord. And the last note, that's a C down here. Now the fermata there, I'm going to hold that note 4 counts instead of 2. And the right hand, I'm just going to hold however long I got to hold to match the left hand. That's what. At the bottom on page 35, let's look at the last couple measures. We have a dotted rhythm there in the right hand, so it's like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that dotted quarter note gets 1.5 counts. Quarter note gets 1 count. The dot gets a half. Put them together, it's 1.5. 1 and 2 and 3, and the 8th note comes on the and of 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, and that's the way that works. Very important that you be able to understand that, so when you see it, you're just able to do it on your own. Now a little bit about holding notes down. It's a good idea to get into the habit because it's going to be becoming really important really soon, that you learn to hold these notes down the exact length you're supposed to. I get a little sloppy sometimes, but I try not to. For instance, go down to the bottom line on page 34. And we're starting out here. In the right hand, you have a whole note tied to a half note that's 6 counts. So it's here, 2, 3, and right when I play the third beat in the left hand, the right hand comes up. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of important? No. Go over to page 35. You have the same thing in the third line down, first measure. It's the right hand comes up on beat 3. And I'm playing that G on beat 3, the second G. 1, 2, 3. So the right hand comes up. 2. Like so. Try and hold the notes down for the length they're supposed to go. Whole note hopefully wasn't a problem for you. I mean, look at the first line on page 34. It's a whole note, and then second measure is a whole note. But when you get to the third measure, the left hand's got to come up because you're done with your whole note. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So it comes up on 1. As I play the D, I lift the left hand up at the same time, etc. They have a little bit of pedal stuck on here. You see on the third line on page 34, when the left hand plays the G's, the pedal goes down. Same thing on page 35. Pedal goes down with the G's, and at the end, the last measure, the pedal goes down after you play the notes in the last measure. And then the pedal and the hands come up at the same time there at the end of the piece. And that's really all the pedal is. So you don't need pedal at all in this piece. But if you wanted to use the pedal, you're looking for an excuse to use it. I want to use the pedal. There it is. Use the pedal on those. I'll show it in the play with me, but I'm not going to explain it any more than I have here. 4/4 time will give us 4 counts. Let's try this together slowly. So the right hand is here. Left hand's here, and the foot's on the pedal, ready to go. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3. 3, 4. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4.